I am at 435 South Bonneview. That is the state that is creating audible activity flying over the bathroom as I am inside of it via aircraft. Understand the state is using at this venue the train that abuts the property, and that is seen on camera as I arrive at around 6:50 a.m. The third parties that are present engaging in P.O.C. and on camera, they're in relevant position and in operation of communication device. They are monitoring under the state's fake sun, which again the state engages in changing the color of its light source and aiming light onto the exact same location, and it also remains for hours. The state's fake sun present at arrival at 7:50 a.m. This is 435 South Bonneview. This is the state's light source. The state is amplifying audible activity using the train, the buildup in traffic. Understand they are engaged in sexual violence systematically as they are scramming past in vehicles and inside of this venue. The males that are washing their laundry, they are listening in real time with the state that's flying over this bathroom with Gail and Yaya who are in relevant position. They're all listening. This is the sexual violent conduct that the state engages in when it's monitoring via communication devices. It is February 3rd, 2021, and it is Wednesday, and I am inside of the restroom, and so the state is engaging in the behavioral pattern of stalking with activity. So as I make an abrupt movement, meaning literally losing my balance and making an abrupt movement, an unexpected movement, the state immediately sounds planes over the location. Okay, this requires the state already is present via aircraft and is stalking with activity. This is the same thing with any other person, any other third-party group stalker. They're always present and they are ready to create activity with simultaneity immediately following what I'm doing. That's stalker conduct. That's what the state is doing via aircraft. The state is engaging in amplifying that activity inside of the bathroom, and the state is engaged in what is sexual violation. This is corporate invasion of privacy. This is that which is the level of invasion of privacy, sexually motivated conduct while you're monitoring via communication devices, never ever addressed by federal legislation. This is a government federal engaged in criminal facilitation of that corporate invasion of privacy, of that corporate monitoring conduct. They are physically touching while they're engaging in those elements. So understand while you are physically indisposed, and they are aware of it because they're listening to you. This is sexually motivated conduct inside of a private space while you are physically indisposed, and they are all doing. This is not an individual stalker. This is an entity, and then acting through all of the individuals surrounding you, including in traffic. Okay, these are perverts that are driving by, including in Ontario police vehicles, cashing in on P.O.C. under the state's fake sun at 435 South Bonneview as the train is stalking, creating ongoing activity using the train behind the property. Okay, the state is engaging in ongoing P.O.C. inside of the bathroom. Just want to make sure that I note that, and it is ongoing right now. So you're talking about the psychopath that is a sexual pervert, a predator, a sexual violator while they're monitoring. This is the ways in which they're doing so, and it is on a corporate level. The state is engaging in ongoing flight via aircraft directly over this bathroom as it's flying directly over the building while I'm sitting inside on the couch inside of the venue. This is the same exact P.O.C. Just want to make sure I document it because they're on cameras on this venue. They're on cameras right now in relevant position, which is proof of their presence. They can fill out paperwork. They can be on the phone acting like they're making it. It does not matter. The state is monitoring, and they are engaging in that monitoring in concert with the state of California, and they are sex offenders, and they are engaged in deliberate and diligent attention to what I'm doing. This is why the state is stalking via activity using aircrafts in the same manner in which it is heavily documented for a matter of years now. The state's stalking conduct directly. The state is stalking vicariously through Mercy House. P.O.C. is underway here, and they are acting on behalf of that entity. It is 7:17 a.m. Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. And as I stand physically indisposed, this is a matter of federal prosecution, and this is P.O.C., okay? As I stand physically indisposed, the state flying repeatedly over the bathroom, listening to me. That is the creation of audible activity, monitoring your naked body while they are aware of it, listening corporately together while you are moving around. And understand these are just the elements of criminal monitoring via communication devices. This is in no way limiting this pervert, that's a public entity, and that is acting through Mercy House. This is in no way limiting the state's criminal tactics for what is observing, listening, stalking, monitoring inside of a bathroom. Okay, this is the behavioral pattern in progress inside of the bathroom at 7:18 a.m., and that's P.O.C., and the state is using the train repeatedly as they are monitoring. Understand, they're monitoring in traffic, and the train is a means of doing so, and those perverts are literally just driving by, monitoring, stalking with activity, doing the exact thing, the same thing that the state does, using its sirens and using aircrafts and amplifying all of the same. That's P.O.C. Let me document one more thing. Again, it's Wednesday, February 3rd. I want to be clear, the specific actors. A third party, it's a male wearing sweatpants, and he wears a ponytail in his hair. He has an accent. He states that he's just generally from the Middle East. He goes by the name of Yaya. He is engaged in P.O.C., and that is sexually violent P.O.C. with the government monitoring here with Mercy House. He's acting with Gail. These are the actors that are specifically present right now. As of right now, another plane flying over the bathroom. And let me be clear, I will also be publishing what is more than five to seven videos, and that's just a sample of what the state was doing, flying over me where I was at that time in the middle of the night and early in the morning, all night long, in other words, via helicopter and aircrafts while I'm at the Ontario Museum of History and Art. This is the pattern of conduct I've already established. This is what is going on here because I am subject to monitoring here at this venue, speaking to and revealing what is a state system in operation everywhere that I go. And Yaya and Gail are engaged in that sexual violence. Understand, being a group stalker is an extremely sexually violent federal act, and that is to document who was present and who was facilitating that on the venue. So the state is facilitating it by the people. The people are facilitating it at each and every venue, and those third-party patrons using the laundromat, their criminal conduct, their listening in is not only facilitated by the state, it is also facilitated by Mercy House. This is the prosecution of the state proper, the prosecution of the people of the state of California, and any commercial, any place of business or whatever type of classified location that you're at, including inside of a private residence, where the criminal monitoring is ongoing and it is facilitated by anybody it is there, because it's indiscriminate. It's again Wednesday, February 3rd, and that's 7:20 a.m. I just want to be clear about who's here because that's also going to be seen on the cameras, and I want to make sure I specifically document who was listening to me undressing, who was monitoring me to the plane activity, who's monitoring me to the train activity, who's monitoring as they're to the third-party group stalkers who are patrolling in traffic and sitting out in their cars in Washington. This is corporate monitoring that's occurring while I'm in the bathroom. That's P.O.C. All right, it is 7:35 a.m. I just want to be clear. This is the, I've been here since 6:50 a.m., and that'll be seen on camera as I'm dropped off in front of the property, which is armed with surveillance cameras. This is what is the third use of the train that is directly behind the property of 435 South Bonneview. Okay, it's rumbling in the bathroom. So this is the use of sensational activity for monitoring under the state's fake sun. And understand, every time that the security camera is showing what is the train that's in motion, understand it may or may not actually be in motion because the state engages in literally playing a tape of audible activity. But irrespective of that, I want to be clear right now, as I stated the time, 7:35, that is the third time since I've been here within less than an hour. The state is using that train activity as a means of monitoring, and it is acting in concert with planes. So as you are seeing what our trains, the surveillance cameras at 435 South Bonneview are another aspect of documentation in the prosecution of the state of California, in the prosecution of Mercy House, and each of those actors and the people of the state of California. Those surveillance cameras showing the train in motion are also speaking to the buildup of third-party group stalkers in traffic. So you're understanding what is going on with regard to the ongoing light activity. The state is stalking with its light source, the relevant positioning, their group stalking in this manner, surrounding in traffic, not only on Bonneview, but also on Washington, on Mission, and this is on State. This is creating ongoing surrounding. That's, the state is using that. Also, the train is used as a means of audible and sensational activity. Understand, this is the third time at 7:35 a.m. arriving at 6:50. That's the third time the state has used that train right here behind 435 South Bonneview. It's directly behind the wall, and the cameras can capture that. I just want to be clear. I want to let you know the state uses that as a means of monitoring. The same thing at the museum. The same thing when I'm walking in any place. The same thing when I'm inside of any private residence as well. Actually, in Ontario, inside of Woodside Senior Apartments, this same train. Heard, quote unquote, heard inside of that apartment. That's the state playing the tape of a sound of a train. Okay, that's an example of that. Anyway, this is the third time, 7:35 a.m. I want to be clear, while the train is in motion, while the state's using this train activity, the state is flying over this airspace, flying directly over the venue, flying over the bathroom in planes and helicopter. Okay, that's P.O.C. And that's what they're doing, and that's while I'm inside of the bathroom. That's inside of the private space. This is to be for purposes of what is federal prosecution and that sexual violation. They are sexual predators engaging in real-time knowledge while they're monitoring, and necessarily so inside of a private space, with knowledge of when you are naked, when you're using the bathroom, listening to every nuance of every movement, everything you're doing, including your bodily functions. That's a depraved and demented level of monitoring, and that's what's ongoing right now. Gail, Yaya inside while another plane flying over the bathroom. State's fake son over the venue. Third-party group stalkers and sex offenders monitoring, listening in real time, knowledge of what I'm doing in the bathroom while the state's flying over and they're driving by in traffic. That's how the pattern of conduct goes. This is corporate criminal activity that the state engages in. That's P.O.C. Let me be clear. It is 7:39 a.m. All right, it is 7:46 a.m. And again, the state's stalking conduct, which again, the state is stalking because it is monitoring via communication devices in concert with the people of the state of California. And this criminal pattern of conduct in violation of existing federal law, 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsections 1 and subsections 2, is that which is already established as a matter of documentation, which has also been published. And pay attention to my YouTube page because I have more and more and more. But as far as the state's pattern of conduct, that is intended to intimidate, harass, place under surveillance with that criminal intent to harass and intimidate and injure. This is what the state is engaged in, and it is inherent to a criminal pattern of conduct of monitoring via communication devices. That's in direct violation of that federal law. And this is speaking to a government system that is acting through the people of the state of California. That is the government that's engaged in group stalking. And that is the government that is engaged in group stalking through the people of the state as well, in addition to group stalking on its own, using police, planes, helicopters, fire, and ambulance. This is an operation in any city and at all times, at all places. And that's what the documentation establishes. What I'm speaking to is the 7:46 a.m., another plane flying over. This is relevant, not because I have not already established the P.O.C. This is speaking to what is sexual violence. Every third party that is engaged in, everywhere I'm going, I'm subject to monitoring, and I'm speaking to that which they shall also be specifically prosecuted for, which is that sexual violent conduct and that criminal facilitation of that sexually violent conduct at any place of business, inside of any private residence. This is at 435 South Bonneview. Understand this is the exact same conduct at every other place there I go, where I am engaged in the same conduct of using the restroom. They're doing the exact same thing. Okay, understand that this is the people of the state of California, and this is the particular address of 435 South Bonneview. 7:46 a.m. another plane is flying over. Every time the state is doing that, it's creating audible activity for purposes of monitoring me while I am inside of a private space, while it is aiming its light, which is not coming from the actual sun. That's a fake light source in the sky for purposes of monitoring. That is another aspect of sexual violent conduct, intending to monitor while you're inside of that private space, engaging in any of the criminal elements while doing so. This is at this current time, I'm going to be seen referencing the security cameras as I'm exiting out of the bathroom. This is documentation of that. It is in sync with the security cameras, and so I will be seen with my luggage carrier, my backpack on, referencing the security cameras. And on P.O.C. is ceaseless, and they surround on Washington Street, listening in real time, engaging in what is activity creation under a light source. That is the legal context of every single person you see inside of any vehicle, inside of all the surrounding buildings, inside of traffic, inside on this property. They are engaged in ceaseless monitoring. It's P.O.C. Alrighty, and I will be exiting the building. That is the restroom right now. And I just want to make sure that I get the precise timing, because this is going to be used. It's 7:49 a.m. Okay. All right, as I walk out and I do reference the cameras, just like I stated, that is the state that flies directly over my head as I stand in front of the camera, and a prime air commercial plane flies right over my head while Gail is seen on camera. She's standing in direct alignment to me. Tyler is smoking outside. Understand he's standing in relevant position in alignment while the state is flying over at the same time that I'm exiting the bathroom. The psychopath, sex offender, group stalker via aircraft that is monitoring. Listen to me reference that. Intentionally engages in this activity creation. This is just coloring the conduct while they are aware that they're being monitored. And this is also speaking to a sex offender that is brazenly engaging in that sexual violence while it is being documented. This all goes to federal prosecution, all of that. The state's fake son is present over the venue. That's P.O.C. Did they leave?
No, they're still in the bathroom.
Oh.
So.
It is the same date. It's February 3rd, 2021. It's a Wednesday. It is currently 9:55 a.m. This is ongoing documentation as what is the sexual violation, the sexual violence that is specifically engaged in at the venue, facilitated in part on behalf of the government, with which this venue is monitoring and facilitating that sexual violence with the group that is patrolling in traffic, that is present on the grounds and around 435 South Bonneview, and the state that is using the train as a means of audible activity while I'm inside of the restroom. And so this is the state stalking with activity. Again, the train is used as a means of providing what is supposed to be the quote-unquote explanation for what is vibration of the ground. The state engages in amplification of audible activity. The state engages in impossible light activity, shooting all over the surfaces around and inside of any location where I'm at, and stalking with a fake sun. The state engages in what is vibration of the ground and does so for purposes of what is activity creation. That's sensational activity creation, and it is also that which is occurring with simultaneity to my activity inside of the bathroom, which the state is in third-party venue, Mercy House, including, understand, they are part of the same group, the people of the state of California, as they're driving by, as they are inside of the nearby venues, all in relevant positions, including the police, which are stalking, sitting around in their vehicles, monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California, are listening in real time to everything that's occurring, creating activity, monitoring as I engage in movement. And this is 9:54 a.m. is when the train stops being heard. Again, I am not outside to see. I'm letting you know about the activity that's occurring while the surveillance cameras are in action. They're running. The train is being used as a prolonged means of activity creation, both audible and sensational. So what it is, literally, I'm going to break that down, because what you are hearing is not necessarily what is occurring. The state is engaged in constant tampering with the environment. It is monitoring. And so ongoing amplified train activity, vibration of the ground. This is for over 6 to 7 minutes. It stops at 9:54 a.m. It begins, again, as I begin manipulation of my hair, which is, by definition, the new activity that I begin after brushing my teeth, washing my face. I begin manipulating my hair. The state engages in using the train under its light source, which is remaining at this venue. This is the creation of activity. This is the identical behavioral pattern. And the train continues from approximately 9:45 a.m. up until what is 9:54 a.m. This is constant vibration of the ground in the bathroom. This is ongoing audible activity of a train, and this is while the state, that is the people of the state of California, surround in traffic in nearby venues here at 435 South Bonneview, sitting on Washington Street. They are all engaged in monitoring, including what you saw on the cameras as I enter in the bathroom. And again, what I am speaking to is the documentation that is constant on the grounds, because all that they are doing, just like at every other venue, all that they are doing while a public entity is monitoring you are engaging in relevant positioning, meaning they are engaging in group stalking. They're present vicariously on behalf of the state, intentionally creating activity, and while they are doing so under the state's provision of light activity, light, concentrated light on the venue, concentrated light, light aimed inside of the venue, and that is all that they are doing. Those are the criminal elements that they are engaged in. Judy and Tyler and Jennifer engaged in group stalking, and understand they are outside in relevant positions seen on their cameras engaging in what is supposed to appear exactly what they're doing, the business of whatever Mercy House is. They're doing it in a relevant position, and also while I am maintaining what is laundry inside of the venue. So understand they are already in position. Monitoring while I sit inside of the venue on the couch, also engaged in positioning while I move to that laundry room and then to the bathroom. Understand that. And that's what you're seeing on camera. It is all positioning, making sure that I remain surrounded regardless of where I go, from the couch to the laundry room to the bathroom. And they are acting in concert in that criminal endeavor. You're looking at what is monitoring conduct. It is currently 9:59 a.m. The state engaged in ongoing stalking via aircraft. The state engaged in ongoing stalking with its fake son over the property. The state engaged in ongoing use of the train for ongoing sensational and audible activity. This is relevant to what is Mercy House engaging in sexual violence, representing the people of the state of California, engaged in criminal facilitation of sexual violence by the people of the state of California, and criminal facilitation of sexual violence of a federal nature. Again, this is under facts of federal group stalking and monitoring. This is a whole other level of sexual violence by a stalker, which is, again, unprecedented level of criminal activity by a public entity, and Mercy House facilitating that by the government and by the people of the state of California, who are monitoring in concert systematically. It is 10 a.m. All right, it is February 3rd, 2021, 2:35 p.m. I am seen referencing the surveillance cameras at 45 South Bonneview, where I am now exiting the venue, and that was the customary stalking and monitoring conduct by the state, flying directly over the venue as I'm standing right here in front of the camera. Again, it's 2:35 p.m. P.O.C. is ceaseless. I am now exiting the venue. All elements, including the hallmark of the state's fake sun over the property, and this is the P.O.C. as I walk, and all those same exact elements and hallmarks remain as I am on foot, and third-party group stalkers maintain presence. It's P.O.C. It's 2:36 p.m. 8MGX 390, 4MXJ 879, 6TQE 349, 8BXH 527, 8DKT 014. Gonna cross the street now. 8JVA 418. I'm actually gonna stay on the side of the street. 1272897. 7MYT 128. ABPM 7727, 6KG 0484, 7L20738, 52334B1, 7A83106. This is 5XU100, 5, like, look at this, 7CKH8. I can't really see that one, you can scratch that. 7TKN431, LEPPARD, 7WLN766, 73928B3, 6H57151, 7NDU243. This is 57884T2, 6YJC757, 55733X2, 7EUG797, 4JZS951, 6PXS891, 6FPV 145 43696A1 40242F1 4XY, I'm sorry, 4XZY843 6DQY793 8TEY550 3PXA423 WPO2276. Alright, BC37X75 paper plate 6BMG761 8KNH351 City of Ontario using its dumpster trucks as a means of federal group stalking and monitoring. 8PAF438 and it is currently 2:39 p.m. I'm walking north on Bonneville. That's P.O.C. Traffic cameras at Bonneville and HOLT will show my presence here, and what you're looking at is group stalking on camera. All elements are present, and you are looking at them monitoring as they are driving in traffic, sitting at the red light. Blocking my path is 7TIF314, 5LIE032, 8JMV117, 8060, I didn't really get the rest of that, 7HMP105, did I say that? 8W23750, 8BHJ416. That's stalking with activity. Literally, as I turn to walk backwards, a third-party group stalker providing audible activity. They're all monitoring. BC85N86 paper, 8LBZ922, 8SKM664, 8MBJ712, 57177R1, 9784, 9M2. Psychopath 8TRL105. 8MSS624, 2W07344, 0279 7W2, using the CMAX sanitary wash bin truck to monitor. This is 8MSS624, in case I didn't read that one already. Group stalkers that are turning on the Bonneville, 6SPB204 04845H1, 8NMV738, UniFirst 19725K1. License 063904, that's the U.S. dot number, 7LMT 507. All right, and I am on the traffic cameras. They're all on traffic cameras. This is Bonneville and HOLT Boulevard. It's 2:44 p.m. This is P.O.C. All the traffic coming toward me on Bonneville, understand they're all monitoring, intentionally heading in that path in relevant position on HOLT Boulevard. This is all ongoing documentation as you are looking at what is the legal context behind what is supposed to be ordinary conduct. It is not. It's federal group stalking and monitoring right in front of your face. It's 2:45 p.m. and I'm walking east on HOLT Boulevard. All hallmarks are present, including the state's light source, as they are crossing path that is maintaining presence via their vehicles on the road under a fake sun. This is group stalking in the state of California. Demonic activity in your face. 8ACC 648 54187L1 P.O.C. at Raoul's Auto Trim, 828 East HOLT Boulevard. Group stalkers walking out as I come. P.O.C. And since they want to welcome me so bad, I'm going to go ahead and give them their due credit and document their license plate. Impossible light activity across Raoul's Auto Trim, while group stalkers such as 3RTX 654 is driving east on HOLT Boulevard. Impossible light activity. These are demon-possessed group stalkers, 8PYF 937 and sex offenders, 5FBE 750, 7TQB 783, 4VBE 948, license plate 4NEV 230, 4SEN 198, JUS 5150. Understand they are all engaged in waging what is a sexual assault. That's a threat with the state's criminal use of light that it molests with, that it touches all over the surfaces surrounding, where you are documenting a government that's monitoring you and aware of the fact that that light activity is that which is used to attack you, and it appearing all over the surfaces. They're communicating that threat together, 5TTN 655, while they insist on maintaining presence. This is a sexual predator that is stalking. 24251X2. That's exactly what they're doing under federal law. MONY, B, and Z, including Amazon Prime, intentionally crossing path in its van, 8CO5784, engaged in the same stalking conduct via its aircrafts. And that is 2:47 p.m. Again, this is group stalking, and it is entirely intentional presence. When they are present, in the manner that they are present, Amazon Prime communicating an ongoing threat. Is a sex offender, molesting, monitoring with that state that's molesting all over my body with light. They want to drive past, they can do that. 6 WIW 815, but not without federal consequences. P.O.C. They're driving, which was with every other third-party group stalker, except they go further and provide instrumentalities of federal group stalking and monitoring. And in order for all of these people like AEVY 923 to continue to monitor me, providing their planes and their vehicles. That is Amazon that's driving east on Holt Boulevard, by the way. All right, just like every other third-party group stalker, 8TQR 354 17278T2. 8PVF 095, 7EPX 184, 7FYU 296, 1589945, County of San Bernardino vehicle. We already know that they're group stalkers and monitors engaging criminal facilitation of that. License 28802, that's the California license number for Soto's Landscaping. In relevant position 69415N2. License plate 48812A1. Impossible light activity streaming in front of that vehicle, which is a large tow truck, while it's driving by. That's communication of a threat. Everything that they are doing has a legal significance as they're monitoring. 8NAX 326 and is reasonably construed as such. 8RDW 622, 7GKT 277, 3XHA 109, 4LKX 740, 88345J2. Rolling Green Tree Care 59501U1. I'm at Cardenas. They're all monitoring. 57791L1, 8LHE 953. 8TVE 271, 7VHE 766, 9844 6K2, 7KTX 669, 7YTS 419, 8GKX 720, TSO FLAT, that's on a tow truck. 8EXX 628, 8C42601. I'm at Campus and Holt Boulevard. Let's see. 7DUJ554. It is currently 2:50 p.m. 51517J2. 4PXR 355 69916G2, 7BZN 811, 7ABX 754, substantially similar, 5713L2, 8053. I can't really see that one, but 8MMUs 460, MAUILYF 8NMX 094. Possible light activity by 6PXL 008 underneath the vehicle next to it, which is beside me, 85197G2. This is the revealing of all of what they are doing. They're psychopaths. 7CKZ 990. Sitting up with a straight face while all this light activity occurs, which is never naturally occurring. All right, this is the unveiling of what is a criminally concealed system by 5LIF 266, who knows that this impossible light activity is occurring. That's why they're present. They are equally engaged in that criminal system. And by the way, any claim which is irrelevant in federal court is not going to stand. It's occurring while they're present. It's criminal facilitation. 7 CKZ 990. 5SSJ 613. 7 WWF 664. 7 JHS 070. 7 XDH 404. 76367 PI 5 EES 058. 7 YAX 025. 9615 C3. That is Omnitrans 1545 797 9352 R2. 7 BXV 299. 5 ETN 642. 5 EUM 722. Every single last one of them molesting with light, while the state's fake sun is also directly above. Understand, this impossible light activity is not occurring from any sun position. This is the ongoing additional light, while the fake sun source is directly over molesting my entire body, okay? Omnitrans engaged in that molestation. 7 VPH 787. 7 SBX 476. They are 1 group 8 KLB 184 8 THT 161. And I'll be seen on the camera of the Omnitrans bus while they are engaging in what is not merely driving by. I'm letting you know about the ongoing environment. Aramark is a sex offender engaged in kidnapping, engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring while I was kidnapped inside of Glen Helen West Rehabilitation Center, West Valley Detention Center, and Central Detention Center. US.221707. This is license plate. The vehicle number says 0010131, license 8V85491. Aramark is what provides the commissary for the criminals, the group stalkers surrounding me, the inmates that are acting with the deputies, that are acting with the medical workers, and commissary delivery was part of P.O.C. Understand that. Aramark is a sex offender. They're engaged in kidnapping and documented as such on the cameras while I was kidnapped inside of those facilities, and are crossing path right now, engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. Under all the same hallmarks, all the same elements. 12516C3. NNG 959, 8 DIX 969, 8 SHP 203. City of Ontario engaged in the same sexual violence and ongoing stalking in a dumpster truck. 25931J1, 8 GAE 399, 8 BVK 890. 6 JPM 087, 6 TPA 176. 7 DXP 015, 6 JXB 625, 8M UJ 058, 8 BDV 525, 4 SUT 986. Criminal facilitation sitting at the edge of the street in their car with the headlights on is 6 JPM 087. Engaging in 6UFH 924's ability to engage in further ability to monitor with that light activity while they're stalking the relevant position. 8FO8 720, 8LHV 333, 8 BKT 946, 61585V1, 5996 3F1. 6 JPM 087, stalking, sitting at the curb, parked in red, by the way, with the headlights on, remaining in relevant position, that is waiting for crossing of path. That's the stalking conduct by third parties, particularly as I am on foot. As I cross path, what that stalking activity is replaced with the sirens that you hear. That's an emergency vehicle, that's a psychopath in a fire truck, using its lights as that third party that was merely present waiting engages in crossing paths. SureTech, the sex offender from B&G Plaza that was stalking Ontario Town Square apartment homes right across. All right, we already know that the state is a stalker and it's a sex offender. It's acting through 8X12188 and engaged in criminal facilitation of that sexual violence. Acting with 7HOE873, acting with 8E JX584. That's why the sirens stop after they pass me. It's very targeted, audible activity. While the planes, mind you, remain at all times directly above, stalking everywhere I go. Directly incriminating each and every last one of these sex offending psychopath group stalkers that are acting with them. 8MIK582, 8LLW647, 8JRN909. That's a psychopath. Doing nothing but creating light activity using their sirens. Understand that's what group stalkers do, because you got to stop when you hear the sirens. Understand this is all concerted conduct. And this is the use of what is supposed to be ordinary procedures for a criminal purpose. A great criminalistic endeavor they're engaged in together. 8NAX071. And that behavioral pattern rebuts any implausible and asinine, ridiculous claim that this is a coincidence occurring over and over again. No, it's P.O.C. And it is already established. 418-77J1 has not a prayer in federal court. Not a prayer. By the way, God does not listen to Satan's utterances. Just a little context. This is a long time coming. An Acura sitting in the middle of the street. The turning lane is the means by which they're engaged in stalking in relevant position. All right, this is HOLT Boulevard, 7POP895, and the Acura is 8MFS014. Understand that's just another means of sitting in relevant position, just like that group stalker was openly doing so, sitting parked in the red with their headlights on. Understand that's the same conduct of sitting in the street, in the middle of the street, parked on the sidewalk with their hazard light. It's the same conduct. Sitting at a traffic light is the same stalking means. This is the criminal system in operation. You are stripping it down to the elements. License plate, 7MHG897. Group stalkers patrolling in the AutoZone parking lot in the back street into Pleasant Avenue. They're all monitoring. They're monitoring inside of 570 Holt Boulevard. I believe that's the AutoZone. It's 570 Holt or 570 Pleasant. It's right at the intersection of Pleasant Avenue and Holt Boulevard. They're all monitoring over here. And by the way, the state is not only sounding sirens like you hear, it is also engaged in flying over, which we already know. It's an egregious, obsessed, paranoid level of stalking. ADVS 841. This one wants some too. 5XNU161. You got it. All under a fake sun. That's the context of what they are doing. Whatever they're doing, it's group stalking. 8LCU667. 7FML940. Fake sun right over the AutoZone. 7V21468. 88099M2. 90310N2. Uh, 6YGV657. 5SVG899. 55892C3, 6WKY110, 7LZY090, 8NLN004. It is currently 3 p.m. on the dot. I am at Pleasant Avenue, having walked through that AutoZone parking lot and walking what is going to be north on Pleasant and then continuing south onto, oh, it looks like we've got a side street right here. So I'm walking, this is a little side street. Understand that's the maintenance of audible activity. That's group stalking. That's the people of the state of California. I don't have to have their address. That is the behavioral pattern, okay? Every single one I've already identified by license plate, by image, by address, etc., and by name, whoever I know. They're the people of the state of California engaged in the identical behavioral pattern. This is why you document them. That's called stalking with activity. I took a little side street and I am reapproaching, well, I'm at Sultana. I took a side street from Pleasant Avenue to get to Sultana rather than walking HOLT from Pleasant to Sultana as I ordinarily do. I took a little side street. That is the cause for the extra added audible activity that's keeping you surrounded with activity when you're being monitored while the state's fake sun is directly over me. That's P.O.C. 6 MBY 988 8AM08 B17, I believe. That's a paper plate. Again, that started with the letter A. Oh, 1535701, City of County of San Bernardino vehicle. License 8RGH021, 5WEZ790, 7RAV251. It's currently 3:02 p.m. I'm walking, proceeding east on Holt Boulevard, approaching what is B&G Plaza. Group stalker will be seen on camera at B&G Plaza, really in front of the Omnitrans bus stop with its hazard lights on. Headlights are now on, hazard lights stop. They're maintaining presence and alignment to me. Impossible light activity across the brick wall of SCHIRO'S Liquor as I'm walking on the sidewalk. And this group stalker using a utility truck that says Ontario Refrigeration is what was in the driveway, which is all marked red, of the Omnitrans bus stop in front of the B&G Plaza. Understand that was light activity and alignment to me as I'm walking down. That's P.O.C. Ontario Refrigeration is a company readily identifiable, not escaping anything. That's P.O.C. It's 3:03 p.m. (1212722). That is City of Ontario vehicle stalking and another one of its vehicles here at what is the parking lot area of the Senior Center behind the 280 North Lemon Avenue apartments, engaged in relevant positioning, meaning being in the path, maintaining presence as I pursue walking in any direction or driving or traveling in any direction. As I am walking, they are maintaining presence, and so as they are in that path in front of me as I am approaching that bench that I usually sit on, again, all the hallmarks are present. The state is stalking with its light source, and they are creating light activity, also engaging in what is assault with a deadly weapon. Understand, there is no feigning ignorance. This is a pattern of conduct that is already established. I am literally identifying the people of the state of California and their commercial vehicles, which they use as a matter of form, which shall subject their company, their uniforms, whatever they use, for purposes of being identified as a sex offender, as engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring under that superficial guise, which will just subject them to further prosecution. City of Ontario using its van to accelerate and reverse and coming toward me, and while you are engaged in monitoring me on behalf of the government, this is reasonably construed as a direct threat to my very physical safety and my life while you're monitoring me, and that is not to be construed as ignorance of my presence. That is not what the documentation, what the pattern of conduct establishes, and it is not reasonably construed as such either. This is a third-party group stalker identified by City of Ontario in its vehicle, accelerating at a rapid pace, in reverse, driving directly toward me, which is, by the way, in alignment to me, creating light activity while you're monitoring, and also you are waging a direct threat to my life by assault with a deadly weapon, which is that vehicle which you are using to monitor me. I just want to be clear, that's what that was. At 3:13 p.m. It's 3:15 p.m. and that's the license plate of that City of Ontario vehicle used as an ongoing means. City of Ontario heavily documented and engaged in the same stalking conduct. This is documentation of what is assault with a deadly weapon. The same pattern of conduct by third parties who are not only hostile to documentation but fail. There is no getting out of the pattern of conduct. There is no acting like you're some exception to what the people of the state of California are engaged in with a government who has no argument either. This is the system in operation, period. That's P.O.C. It's 3:16 p.m. and I, of course, like I'm stating, I'm at 280 North Lemon Apartments in between the Senior Center and Ontario Ovid Family Community Library. It's 3:16. That's P.O.C. All right, it is 7:27 p.m. The Ontario Health Center is still open. I just want to be clear, they are in relevant position, in other words, with light activity. And the state is stalking via aircraft and Ontario Police at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. They are in relevant position in the parking lot with light activity, remaining present as Ontario Police are parked in the intersection of the opposite corner in relevant position. They are monitoring together. Ontario Police right now at 7:23 p.m. Proceeding on Lemon 8JXZ 323, 8CTZ 642. And understand this is also a communication of a threat, 8RAJ 398. That is 8BX. Oh, I can't really see. 8BX 4483, I believe. I can't really see from here. NJCHICA 7EEU 289. It is currently 7:23 p.m. 7BWR 476. Uh, 7NTU 201. And this is 8GWS 138. Yeah, 138. 8NEC 425. Do not see plate on that one. And this is 8HDJ 436. Again, these are all third parties that are in relevant position at the Ontario Health Center at this time, where police are engaged in blatant stalking. Understand the use of the police in group stalking in the first instance is a matter of seeking to engage in what is intended to harass, intimidate, and also place under surveillance with that intent to injure, harass, and intimidate. That is inherent where police are engaged in group stalking and monitoring and acting in concert with the very people of that state. That the state engaging in that visual aspect of P.O.C. For that visual purpose, that's a communication of a threat by the targeting entity that is being systematically documented. 7SWK 596. They are in relevant position at the Ontario Health Center on both sides, if you will, of me at the museum on the grounds. And this is as I arrive. So I'm just documenting all these license plates because these are third parties that are in relevant position right now, engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, just by virtue of presence, by the way. But you've got light activity. That's got a super bright light on in the parking lot that's also creating audible activity. AC33W05, that's a paper plate. That is P.O.C. It's currently 7:26 p.m. I am approaching what will be at the traffic cameras at Euclid Avenue and Holt Boulevard. Understand this is CSIS P.O.C. turning onto transit right now. They are crossing path. Understand that. 3PKF 650. Substantially similar. I can't really see it that clear. It's a white Honda Civic hatchback. Looks to be a Latino male that's driving. He turns on the transit right now. Understand it's monitoring, as they are all monitoring. And I will be seen on the traffic cameras right now at 7:26 p.m. And that is the ongoing reference as to my ongoing presence, providing legal context for everything that's ongoing, including those who are engaging on the opposite side of Euclid, loitering on the sidewalks. Understand the same conduct in commercial vehicles. They are engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, every single last one of them, and that is the legal context behind what you are looking at. The public entity is monitoring and stalking. It's P.O.C. 7:27 p.m.